how do I know what I want?
How do I know what I want? Happens with most of us, right? We are not sure about what we really want. How many of us feel this confusion sometimes, often, or always? I don't know what I want. Most of us. All right, Siddharth, let's look at these wants. When you want something, what is the process? You want A. So there is A which you don't have, and then there is the want. And what happens to the want when you get A?
It vanishes.
The want goes away, the want vanishes. So you wanted A, you wanted to get A. In wanting to get A, you wanted the want to vanish. Are you getting it? After all, I want A. And the moment A is achieved, the want dies. So what does the want want? It wants to die. It says, I'll get A and then I'll die. That's strange, isn't it? That what we want is the disappearance of want. When you want something, you actually want that desire, that want to disappear. You want that desire to disappear. The question is, can the desire disappear by wanting more and more and achieving more and more? Has it ever happened that you have wanted, achieved, and the whole process of wanting has come to an end? Does it happen? You want, you achieve, and the process of wanting stops. Has it happened? What may happen is that the object of want may change. You want A, and then you may say that now I want B. But the want will remain very much in its place. The want will remain very much in its place. I have heard that a survey was done among dying people, people who were terminally ill or something. And it was asked to them that now that you are close to the end of your life, are you satisfied? Particularly, they were asked whether they were satisfied with the amount of money that they had. And a very wonderful thing emerged. Those who had $200 in their account, they said, we would have been satisfied had we had $2,000. Those who had $500, they said, no, we are not yet satisfied, we wanted 5,000. One of the billionaires who was dying, let's say he had $1 billion in his account, he said, I would have been satisfied had I had $10 billion in my account. The ratio was a constant, 1:10. It doesn't matter how much you have, you want 10 times more. It's a factual thing. So the want remains equally strong irrespective of how much you have achieved. The want never goes away. And the want, as we said right in the beginning, is always of wantlessness. When you want something, do you want that want to remain permanent? Do you always want to remain wanting? Or do you want that this desire should be fulfilled? What do you want? Or do you say that this desire should remain permanent? You say, I want to fulfill this desire. But the wanting remains always permanent. No desire ever gets fulfilled. Or let me put it this way, that desire never gets fulfilled. Objects are achieved, objects come and go, but desire remains steadfast at its own place. That never goes away. When you ask Siddharth, what do I want? It's obvious that you want to be free of want. That is the ultimate desire all of us have, desirelessness. That is what we deeply want. That is what our heart is crying for, to be free of all wants. That's what every want promises you. You know, when you desire something, the desire comes with a promise. The desire says, if you get this time if you succeed, then you will feel fulfilled. Then you will want no more, because all wanting is dissatisfaction. You want something only when you are dissatisfied with what you have. Every new desire, every new want is actually a promising that the mind is making to itself. The mind is promising itself, this time if I get it, I will not desire anymore. This is the final one. But the final one never comes. It's a succession. It's a procession. You want this, then you want that, then you want that, and you find that the thirst is never quenched. Howsoever much you drink, the thirst stands at its place. You want wantlessness. And wantlessness cannot come by wanting more and more and more and more. Wantlessness cannot come by wanting more and more. But that's the stupid logic of the mind. It keeps wanting in order to get to wantlessness. And every time it wants to give itself another chance. Let me give myself another chance. This time if I get it, it will be the final one. So why not straight away come to the final want? Why not straight away come to the ultimate desire? The ultimate desire is to be free of desires. Now, freedom from desire, you have to look very cautiously at it. Freedom from desire is not the killing of desire. It is also not the absence of desire. It is just freedom from desire. Freedom from desire means that desire is there, but desire is there at its own place, and I am there at my own place. That desire is not dominating me. This chair is there. I am related to this chair in some way, but yet I am free of this chair. I sat on it on my own accord, and I can get up on my own accord. Freedom from desire, the desirelessness, the wantlessness that we talked of, it means that the desire stands at its own place. I am not a slave of the desire. Desire will come. Till the time there is life, there is desire. Till the time you are breathing, there is desire. Desire will be there. But there is something separate from the desire as well. I am there. I am there. I am there, the watcher of desire. And then desire is not overpowering. Then desire does not make you mad. Then desire does not make you stupid. This is what intelligence is. Yes, desire is there. All right. There is a brain, there is a body. Desire is there. But I am not dominated by it. I can understand how it arises. I can see its origin, its source, its going away. Everything is obvious. But it's not too much upon me. And then your mind won't be able to fool you. Then you won't be deceived by all these promises that want a little more. Maybe that's what will make you happy. Then life will not be boring. Then you won't feel distracted all the time. All this distraction is just dissatisfaction. I want something else. I want something else. Distraction is just dissatisfaction, and we are distracted all the time. It only means that the mind is making an utter fool of you. You are thinking that instead of this, if you have something else, you will be satisfied. You will never be satisfied. Wherever you are, whatever you get, will you ever be satisfied? You are just being fooled on an empty promise. Right? Watch the desire, understand the desire, and that is wantlessness. That is desirelessness. Simple, obvious. Right, Siddharth?